Hey, welcome to Two Wheeling. I'm John.
And I'm Wayne.
Here at Two Wheeling, we're all about motorcycles and the motorcycle industry.
We got the big roll of Bounty over there.
Perfect. Is that
You were using that as my head, remember?
So what's today's topic, Wayne?
I have no idea.
All right.
Okay. Oh, hold on. I have a topic. Oh yeah, so bigger riders on smaller bikes. Was that the question?
Bigger riders on smaller bikes.
Bigger riders on smaller bikes. Well, how big is the rider and how small is the bike? Okay, well,
Good question.
what do you think? So let's go from street legal. They got Honda Ruckus. Should a man 350 pounds be on a Honda Ruckus?
Down a hill, maybe.
What kind of hill? Ski hill? Yeah, ski hill with a tow rope.
Yeah.
That's what that's going to be. So you got bigger guys. And how many times have you been out on the highway and you go, I don't know if that guy fits that bike?
Yeah.
How many times have you seen that?
Too many times.
It's the same as, man, that guy's ugly on that Harley. It's the same thing. I think if you got a certain look, you got to buy a certain bike. Whether you're bigger or smaller.
But,
well, sometimes.
Yeah, but what if I love the Ruckus and I'm 300 pounds?
You have an attachment for it, that's what you're saying.
I'm just saying.
It's romantic?
I'm just saying that it could be the right bike for the right person.
Well, there's a time when no matter how big you are, you can ride just about anything. Short distances, in between. Maybe he lives in, where's a really congested place like Greece, right?
Okay.
Something like, I imagine like all of those columns and concrete and there's
now
apple carts everywhere.
Now all I can picture is a 300-pound guy in a Speedo riding a Ruckus. Thanks for that.
I don't know whether the view from the front is worse than the back. But I tell you, I think I'd rather see the Ruckus coming this way than going that way. Okay.
Okay. So, sorry, what was today's topic?
Bigger riders on smaller bikes.
So what's your point?
There are some rules. Hard and fast.
There's rules.
Yes. Don't you think
These
there's
are
rules?
written rules?
Maybe not written. Okay.
It's not law then.
Not law,
but
right? But if you're, how about this? When you measure or when you know the weight of the bike, I don't think that you should outweigh the motorcycle by 100 pounds. Okay, so if you get on the scale and you're 320, 330, right? You shouldn't be on a machine.
Then you should be on a 1,000-pound Harley.
No, it's I think tall bikes, depending on your inseam, but I think if you're on a taller bike and you've got suspension, great. But I mean, you see people on machines where the suspension's almost all the way through. It's stroked right out already, and they're just bouncing down the road. Like my buddy's Sportster, 2 people on it, and he's bottoming out just over like speed bumps.
Which can create a very unsafe situation.
Absolutely. Not to mention like the noise it makes when it goes and bottoms out, and you think that Harley's going to crack and spill out onto the street.
So what would you say to the people out there?
Well, it's like going in to measure a suit, isn't it?
Okay.
You go in, you get tailored.
Yeah.
And the guy that's selling you the bike, if you're at a reputable shop, and he should tell you, say, you know what? With your frame, your weight, this is really not the machine for you. Right? If you're going out to buy a private sale,
So hold on. So the sales rep at the dealership needs to be ethical and actually put the right person in the right bike.
If the sales rep at the dealership isn't talking to you about options and why he considers those options, and you should consider those options. Right. Okay? There's no quick, easy sale because a bike is a very personal thing. It really needs to be tailored to you because you're not going to be happy leaving the dealership on a machine that's too small for you.
Right.
But your skill level, you thought, you know what, this is good. I'm going to start off with this. But no, it's not good. The machine should fit the rider. And whether your arms are too long or your legs are all buckled up or whatever the reason is, it should fit. And your rep, a good dealership is going to say, okay, 6'2", we got some great bikes with 32, 34, even 36 inseam. Let's start with that. See how comfortable you are on a taller, lighter bike.
And perhaps you're a little bit more financially strapped and you're buying something secondhand on a private sale.
Yeah, because...
Any recommendations there?
Well, cruisers.
Stay away from a ruckus.
Oh, yeah, stay away from the ruckus. But you look at cruisers, for example, right? Guys like the look of the bike, and maybe the bike is in excellent condition. Everything checks out. Great guy, looked after it. Looks like a really strong sale, right? Really good sale.
Right.
But it's not the right bike for you. But you're attracted to that. It's a good price. The guy wants to sell it to you. He's not talking about whether he was comfortable or not. He didn't say, I went to a Suyas last weekend and there was an acorn wedged right in between my cheeks. And I couldn't even move. And I get off the bike and I'm looking. I can't see anything on the seat at all. But it's this piece of metal, I know, riding on top of the battery or something as I'm going down the road and I only have 2 inches of travel anyway. Well, you don't know that when you're looking at it. But the dealer or like a good rep's going to say, not a lot of rear suspension on this baby. So if you're on BC highways or Washington highways, you can get a little rough. You can actually bottom out the stroke on these kinds of bikes.
So what could that used person, like the person in the used market, say? Could they perhaps reach out to the motorcycle industry and look for advice?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can, before you go and look at a bike, here we are. We're talking about bigger riders and smaller bikes, but now we're talking about buying motorcycles. If you're, 250, and there's a lot of us out there that are 250, it really limits what you should be looking at. And you should not waste your time on machines. Smaller cruisers are a good example because they have usually the less damping, the less spring rate, the less suspension is on these lower cruiser style bikes because it's more of a kind of a lifestyle bike.
Sure.
So you want to start with comfortable and really, really easy to control. And that's good suspension, right? And a good layout, like control. Because later on, as you go along, if you're trading for different bikes, you sort of got your style figured out. Maybe you've got some friends on certain machines, you have more experience, and then you sort of can define that which way you want to go. More sporty, more cruiser, or more adventure, or whatever. But that first bike, if you're big, try to stick to a bike that fits and not one that's smaller or cheaper. Because it's not right. It's worse because a machine you're not comfortable on is not as safe as a machine you are comfortable on.
Good. It's either that or Jenny Craig.
Does she ride?
Probably.
Right. Motorcycles?
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
Until next time.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
Right. Motorcycles?
Sure. Why not?
Okay.